Welcome to this walkthrough of subcontracting plan reporting in SAM.gov. This session will guide you through searching, filtering, and viewing subcontracting plan reports within SAM.gov. Additionally, we will show resources where you can find information on role requirements and answers to frequently asked questions.
This is a training session pertinent to the subcontracting plan reporting in SAM, which focuses on the search and the display modules. And I would like to introduce you to a publicly available page, SAM.gov/ESRS, where we have actually described how this domain works and the role requirements. So for the feds who don't have to report the ISRs or SSRs, but would just review the subcontract reports that are submitted, they would have to fulfill this role requirement. Domain, entity registration, the role, any of these roles that are mentioned here. Object should be site-wide search, and the permission, view entity for your data. And we have provided for you a knowledge article that offers you additional guidance as to how to set these roles up. And for entities or contractors that actually create and submit their ISRs and SSRs, and who would also search their submitted reports through SAM, these are the role requirements. The domain must be entity reporting. Role must be either of these. Object, subcontracting plan reporting, and then the permission is manage subcontracting plan reports. And we have provided the respective knowledge articles for your benefit that can offer you with some additional guidance. And we have also documented the process change between the legacy ESRS and the modernized SAM. And for your benefit, we also have documented the knowledge articles for search. And they have been integrated with the FST.gov. So if we click on this one, it will take us directly to the knowledge articles pertinent to the subcontract plan report search. And now I will walk you through the subcontracting plan reports search and also the display pages in SAM.gov production environment. So as soon as we type in SAM.gov and then launch the site, we are at the landing page for the home, and then right beside it, we have the search feature with all these different domains. And the contracting parent domain is where we are offering the subcontracting plan report search in. So click on the contracting as a parent domain, and we have to navigate to the right to be able to find the subcontracting plan report subdomain. And we have to select this subdomain. So I'm selecting here. And this is the information message that pops up, indicating that we have to sign in to be able to access the subdomain. So I will begin to sign in by clicking on the sign in option here. And I will click on agree to the terms and conditions. And if you don't have an account at this juncture, we have to click on create an account and then fill out the required information and submit the form for approval. But if we have the registered credentials already, then we have to submit the credentials to log into SAM.gov. And it took me to the subcontracting plan reports, and which gives us an information message again that we need to set our search criteria. So by default, the data set will not be returned. We would have to click on any of the options under keyword search or any of the structured parameters to be able to begin the search. So for convenience, I'm setting the option as any words under keyword search to begin my search. So I'm clicking on any words, which actually returns the entire data set for us. And what I mean by the entire data set is the 686,962 result set comprises of the transitioned legacy ESRS.gov data to the SAM environment, and also the new reports that are created in SAM.gov since go live. The go live date being the 24th of Feb, 2026. If you only have a UVI or a report name or a phrase, you can use any words, and the information text is provided here, or all words, and the information text is provided here as to how it behaves, and exact phrase. Again, the information text is provided here, and you can begin your search here by typing in the phrase in this text box. Or we also have the search editor option, where you can type in the SQL-like queries and then get the data. And these are all the structured search parameters that we have offered. And we'll go through each search parameter now. The first one is the federal organizations, which offers the search at 3 tiers: the department, sub-tier, and the office. And there is this little picker. You can launch this model where you can type in a value and then begin your search. Or you can actually type in your value here. For example, 9700. It brings us the department. Or I can type in 5700. It brings us the sub-tier. Or if I'm aware of an office, for example, FA25221, it brings us the office. And we can begin the federal organization search from this picker. And it allows a single value search and also multiple value search. And the next structured parameter is the entity, where we have offered search by prime contractor, search by subcontractor, or search by both. So if we would like to get all the submitted reports reported by a prime contractor, we would have to select this option. So I'm selecting prime contractor and running my search. And as you notice, the data set has reduced a bit. And on the search result card, we would only see the submitter as the prime contractor. To the search, if you are aware of any single UVI or multiple UVIs, we can enter these UVIs here. For example, I can use partial search or complete searches to initiate my UVI search. Or if I have an entity name, a legal business name handy, I can type in my legal business name and get the result for the prime contractor. But if we would like to search for the reports that are submitted by a subcontractor, we have to select this option. So I'm selecting the subcontractor option. And if you look at the data set has reduced quite a bit. And if we pay attention to each of the search cards, then the submitter would show the subcontractor. Or if we would like to get the report submitted by both, then we would select this option, both. And if you notice the result set, it has reduced quite a bit. And on each of the search result cards, we would show the submitter as both. So these are the reports that were actually submitted by both the prime contractor and the subcontractor. So even for the option subcontractor or both, if we have any UEIs handy, we can search by the UEIs, again, single or multiple. And if we have any entity names or the legal business names handy, we can type in those names and we can begin our search. So this is the entity parameter. And this is the contract identification parameter that actually allows us to search by a contract ID PID. This is the FPDS prime contract, prime car, and it offers a complete search or a partial search, a single value search or a multiple value search. And the next parameter is the referenced IDV PID. And this is again an FPDS car. It allows a single value search or multiple value searches. It also allows partial text search or a complete search. And the last element is the subcontract ID. So for all the reports that are submitted by subcontractors, we would have a subcontract ID. So the subcontractors, if they're interested to perform searches using subcontract IDs, they can utilize this search filter. And then we have offered two search parameters under the dates. One is the date submitted, and the other one is the reporting period. This is actually the fiscal year. This is actually the reporting fiscal year, using which we can search for the data. And in the very near future, we have plans of actually adding the reporting period with the values 31st of March, 30th of September, and the final, and revising the label for this field to say reporting fiscal year. And we have offered the dollars obligated parameter, using which we can search for any ISRs. And the type of report, this has a parent-child hierarchical relationship. For the individual subcontract reports, the ISRs, because they're only one value, we have the matching parent element and also the child element. Search, we can select the individual subcontract report and then obtain the search result. So I'm getting no data found because here I have selected under entity, I have chosen both. And we all are aware that ISRs can only be submitted by a prime contractor or a subcontractor. So I will change the option to a prime contractor. And by selecting type of report as an ISR, and this is when I'm able to get these many, several thousands of reports. And similarly, I'm going to reset the search at this point, where it actually cancels all the selected values that I've made earlier. So hitting reset and going back to the type of report search parameter. Under SSR, Summary Subcontract Report, we are offering three values: individual reports, commercial, and DoD comprehensive. So I'll just run a sample search using DoD comprehensive. So I'm selecting this value, and it has returned 198 submitted reports for us in the search. Or if we intend to select the parent, Summary Subcontract Report, where our interest is to get all the individual reports, all the commercial reports, and all the DoD comprehensive reports, we'll just have to select the parent. So I'm selecting the parent, Summary Subcontract Report, to get the complete data set. And here it is. We have these many results comprising of individual reports, summary reports for commercial, and also the summary for DoD comprehensive. And the final search parameter is the subcontracting plan type. This is actually the value that is reported on the FPDS prime cars. So these are all the options we are offering at the moment. Plan not included, plan not required, plan required, plan required incentive not included, plan required incentive included, and also the individual, commercial, and DoD comprehensive. And you may ask a question as to why we have included plan not included, no subcontracting possibilities, and plan not required. We have consciously included those options because the legacy ESRS data may be due to the absence of some validation rules. It has several submitted reports with these options chosen. So hence we have offered these values in the picker. So for example, if I choose commercial from this picker, I would expect all the commercial reports to be returned to me. So I'm clicking on commercial. So these are all the commercial reports that the search has returned. So now that we have studied the search parameters, let us look at the result cards. So at the header level, we are showing the legal business name and the only status as submitted, and the label, subcontracting plan report. And in the body of the result card, we are showing the submitter. If it is a prime contractor, we are showing prime contractor. If it is both, we are showing both. And then the legal business name followed by the UEI, and the department or independent agency, and the subtier as we received from the ESRS legacy data, and the type of report, submitted date, and the reporting fiscal year. And you may observe a slight variation in these result cards for the same type of report, which is the commercial. The reason being, the first result card, by looking at the submitted date, so this is post go live, and actually this is also post go live. One is just a couple days ago, another one is in the month of Feb. So this commercial report has reported to organization, which is 4700, and hence we are able to see the org details. Whereas this report, which is submitted by both, doesn't have this data. So hence we are only populating the submitter, the contractor data, the type of report, submitted date, and the reporting fiscal year. And I'm canceling commercial. And I would like to show you the search result card for an individual subcontract report, which is an ISR. So I'm selecting ISR. So this is how a typical result card for the ISR report shows. The header has the legal business name, the status as submitted, and the label, and this is the body. This report is submitted by a prime contractor with the legal business name and the UEI, and this is the prime car PID from FPDS. And here we have offered a hyperlink to launch the respective display page of the car. And here is the org data, which has the department, subtier, and the office details, and followed by the report details, the type of report, submitted date, and the reporting fiscal year. And very soon, we have plans of enhancing the ISR result card to show the reporting period. And that reporting period field will capture whether the report is for 31st of March or 30th of September, or whether the report is a final report. And similarly, I will show you a DoD comprehensive result card And this is how a typical DoD comprehensive result card would look like. At the header level, we have the legal business name, the status as submitted, and the label, subcontracting plan report. And the body has the submitter and the contractor details, legal business name and the UEI. And we have the department and the subtier. And type of report, submitter date, and the reporting fiscal year. So I'm unselecting my previous selections and going back to the complete result set. Let me show you how we can launch the display pages for the FPDS cards from the result card of the reports. So this is an ISR and hence it has a primary card. So by clicking here, we'll go to the respective cards display page, and it happens to be an FSS document, and it has all these multiple sections. I'm going back to the search, and here I would like to show a report that is submitted by a subcontractor, and this is an ISR, and these are the SSRs for individual, and SSRs for individual are reported at the agency level and not reported at the car level, and which is why we wouldn't see any car related information or the subcontract related information. But on the ISRs are done at the car level. Hence, we are capturing the car data, the card PID on the result card. Along with that, we are also capturing the subcontract ID or the subcontract number. And very soon, we will also enhance the search result card by offering a hyperlink to the subcontract ID, and using which users can launch the respective subcontract display pages. And by subcontract display pages, I meant this particular subdomain, subcontract reports display pages. And so these are the different types of result cards that we have. And then I would introduce you to the sort by feature. So by default, the submitter date descending option is applied. And then we are also offering the submitter date ascending option. So clicking on that will give us all the older reports first. So all the older reports will be displayed first. So with the submitter date of October 28th, 2005, the newer reports. And then we are also offering legal business name A to Z, legal business name Z to A, and then an interesting feature, relevance. So if you select relevance, it will return the most recent reports by the reporting fiscal year. So some of them have chosen a future fiscal year, 2041, and followed by 2040 and things like that. So this is the relevance. And in addition to the sort by option, we are also offering a save feature that will help you to save your search query by providing a file name, and a download feature that will allow us to download the search results into a CSV format that is capped at 5,000 records, or a PDF file that is capped at 3,000 records. And the default file name will be provided by the system, but we have the option to change it to provide a file name of our choice. And I'm clicking on cancel. And at this point, I will walk you through the display pages for each of the reports.
To conclude this walkthrough of subcontracting plan reporting in SAM.gov, please watch Part 2.